Have you ever looked at someone your age, maybe an old classmate, a coworker, or just a stranger on Instagram, and thought, they have everything figured out, so why don't I? If you have, I want you to know something immediately. You are not the only one thinking that. In your 20s, this feeling is more common than we admit. Everyone looks busy, everyone looks successful, but almost everyone feels a little lost. Welcome back to the show. Today, I want to talk about why that happens. Why does the decade that is supposed to be our prime often feel like our most confusing? Your 20s are strange. You're not a kid anymore, but you don't quite feel like an adult either. You're in this weird limbo. Suddenly, life stops giving you clear instructions. Think about it. For the first 18 to 22 years of your life, the path was incredibly simple. It was linear. Step 1, go to school. Step 2, pass exams. Step 3, move to the next class. Step 4, maybe go to college. There was a syllabus. If you did X, you got Y. But then you graduate, and suddenly the tutorial mode of life ends. There is no fixed roadmap anymore. There are expectations, heavy ones, but no clear directions on how to meet them. You're expected to choose the right career, earn well, be independent, make your family proud, find a partner, maintain your health, and somehow still enjoy your youth. That pressure isn't just difficult, it is overwhelming. And when you don't hit those milestones immediately, you feel like you're free-falling. Let's dig a little deeper into why this shift is so jarring. One of the biggest reasons isn't just the pressure to succeed, it's the sheer weight of choice. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. When you have two options, it's easy to pick one. When you have 1,000 options, you become paralyzed. In our parents' generation, the scripts were tighter. You often took the job that was available in your town. You married someone from your neighborhood. The options were limited, which, ironically, made the anxiety lower. Now, you can live anywhere. You can be a freelancer, a corporate employee, a creator, a nomad. You can date anyone via an app. On paper, this freedom is beautiful, but in practice, it creates a unique kind of anxiety called opportunity cost. Every time you choose a path, say you take a job in marketing, you immediately worry, what if I should have gone into finance? What if I should have traveled for a year instead? What if I'm wasting my potential? Career confusion is one of the biggest reasons we feel lost. Some people choose the safe path and feel bored. Some change fields and feel unstable. Some are still figuring it out and feel lazy. And no matter what you do, there's always a voice in your head asking, am I doing enough? If you're 25 and you haven't founded a startup or traveled to 30 countries, the internet makes you feel like you're already behind. But let's look at the data. Did you know that the average person changes careers, not just jobs, but careers, 5 to 7 times in their life? Statistics show that nearly 75% of 25 to 33-year-olds have experienced a quarter-life crisis. If 3 out of 4 people feel this way, it's not a malfunction, it's a feature of this age. You are supposed to be confused because you are currently vetting a million different futures to see which one fits. But of course, logic doesn't always stop the feeling, and the fuel for this fire is comparison. The worst part of the 20s is looking sideways. Social media makes it look like everyone is winning. LinkedIn is perhaps the most dangerous place for a 20-something's mental health. I'm humbled to announce I've been promoted. I'm thrilled to share I bought my first house. Vacations, engagements, perfect morning routines. But what we don't see are the rejections. We don't see the 50 job applications they sent that got no response. We don't see the self-doubt, the anxiety, the sleepless nights, and the credit card debt funding that lifestyle. People share the results, not the process.
We're comparing our behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's highlight reel. So when you compare your messy, confusing real life to someone's curated online life, you will always feel behind, even if you're not. And here's the truth no one talks about. Many people who look successful still feel lost. I've spoken to people who hit 6 figures by age 24. They look like they've won the lottery, but in private, they tell me they feel trapped. They feel like imposters. They feel like if they stop working for 1 second, it will all crumble. Success doesn't automatically bring clarity. You can have a job and still question your purpose. You can earn well and still feel empty. You can look confident and still be confused. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're searching for depth, not just status. There is another side to this that we rarely discuss: the loneliness. We rarely talk about how lonely your 20s can feel, even when you're surrounded by people, even when you're laughing at a party. Why? Because your relationships are shifting. In school, you were friends with people because of proximity. You sat next to them, so you were friends. But in your 20s, proximity fades. You have to build friendships based on values, and that is hard work. You might find yourself outgrowing people you've known for 10 years. That is incredibly painful. You might feel guilty for not wanting to hang out with your old crew because their habits don't align with who you are trying to become. Or maybe everyone is moving away. One friend goes to London, another gets married and disappears into their relationship, another is working 80 hours a week. Suddenly, a Friday night that used to be loud and crowded is quiet. And internally, you're constantly questioning yourself, your choices, your worth, your future. That self-questioning can get exhausting. Some days you feel motivated and hopeful. Other days you feel stuck and tired without knowing why. And that emotional ups and downs, that's part of growing. Your brain is literally rewiring itself. Did you know the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, isn't fully developed until you are about 25? Biologically, you are under construction. So if you feel emotionally volatile, give yourself some grace. You are quite literally still baking the cake.
So, how do we navigate this? How do we stop the spiral? Another thing no one prepares you for is making mistakes. Wrong career choices, wrong people, wrong financial decisions. But mistakes are not proof that you're bad at life. They're proof that you're learning. Your 20s are basically scientific research. It's a decade of trial and error. You have to date the wrong person to learn what kind of love you actually need. You have to take the job you hate to realize what kind of work you value. If you get it all right at 22, you might wake up at 40 realizing you lived someone else's life. Being lost now is the price you pay for finding yourself later. What actually helps is accepting where you are, not where you think you should be. Instead of asking, "Why am I so behind?" try asking, "What is this phase teaching me?" Maybe it's teaching patience. Maybe it's teaching resilience. Maybe it's teaching you how to be alone without being lonely. Maybe it's teaching you what you don't want, which is just as important as knowing what you do want. I want to leave you with this thought on timelines. The pressure to be on time is a lie. We silently compare our timelines with others. At this age, they have a job. At this age, they're settled. But life is not a race. There is no finish line where someone hands you a medal for getting married at 26 or becoming a manager at 25. Colonel Sanders didn't franchise KFC until he was 62. Vera Wang didn't enter the fashion industry until she was 40. Harrison Ford was a carpenter until his 30s. Some people find their path early, some take time, some change directions multiple times. All of it is normal. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. No one truly does, even if they look like they do. It's okay to move at your own pace. It's okay to rest. It's okay to pause and rethink.
Your worth is not defined by how fast you succeed, or how much you earn, or how perfect your life looks. Your 20s are not meant to be perfect. They're meant to be confusing. They're meant to shape you. They're meant to be the messy soil that you grow out of. So if you're listening to this and feeling lost, take a deep breath. You're not alone. You're not late. You're not broken. You're just becoming. And one day you'll look back and realize this phase, this confusion, this struggle, shaped you more than the easy moments ever could. If this episode made you feel a little less alone, then it has done its job. You're doing better than you think, and your story is still unfolding. Thank you for listening. If this episode connected with you, share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Sometimes, simply knowing someone else feels the same way is enough to get through the week. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you next time.